Okay, now we're gonna cook our wings. I've had one fryer going here with some wings already cooking, okay? As you notice, I'm pulling it out. This is the third or fourth time now that I've taken that out and shaken that. That's important. I'm gonna show you that in a second here. The first thing you wanna do is check your oil temperature and make sure that you're up to temperature, okay? This one here is at 400, that's good. This is a metal rim, it's on a steel table. You don't wanna do this on a plastic tablecloth or anything, so be careful where you place your hot lids. You know, they may melt your plastic, that type of stuff. I've got a half a gallon of oil in here. It's up to temp. We've got the basket. There's a little hook on the back that you hang the basket. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here, we'll do wings first. You know what, let's do boneless wings first. These have been in the refrigerator already for long enough with the flour. So I'm gonna take those out. I'm actually gonna lay these into the oil, the boneless. I'm gonna take about, what the heck, we'll do most of them. And they stick together a little bit in the refrigerator with the flour. That's okay, as long as the moisture picked up the flour so that it doesn't all fall off in the fryer. That's the key here. Now the other benefit to boneless wings, especially if you're doing a big party, is they cook much faster than the boned wings. So they'll cook in half the time or less. So that's good enough there. So now what you want to do, and I used glove here just so I don't have to wash my hands. You don't have to do that at home. Just make sure you wash your hands after handling the chicken. You want to pull it out shortly after you put them in and give it a shake. Because what will happen is, as you set your wings or boneless wings in there, one piece is stuck to the other and no oil's getting in there. So they'll kind of stick to each other. What you want is oil all the way around the boneless wing or the wing so that it'll end up crisping up, searing, and keeping the juices from the chicken actually in the wing. Real nice way to get a nice crisp outside and yet a very tender, juicy inside. So that's important when you do wings. You'll like that crispness, most people do anyway. Which in fact reminds me, you don't get that when you bake wings, okay? And there's a common fallacy that many people seem to think that baked wings are healthier, which would be true if the fat were rendered out as it is in deep frying, okay? Now, one of the things about deep frying is that as you deep fry your wings, a lot of the fat from the chicken cooks out into the oil. And how to know when to change your oil, you can see here, this is brand new oil that I poured off earlier. And this here, hopefully you can see this against my white jacket. This is oil that's been used quite a bit. The heat properties from heating the oil, or the heating effect on the oil will darken it, as will what you put into the oil to cook with. So, as you notice here, there's not a lot of smoke. The more you cook with your oil, the more it's going to smoke, especially with regular wings, traditional wings, where there's fat and the fat is actually cooking out. It's that fat that in large measure is going to contribute to the smoking. And that's kind of how you know when to change your oil. It starts getting real smoky. The wings don't taste the same. They're a little greasier, that type of thing. You know, I'm going to take these out, give them another shake. You can see how those are all nice and loose, and these are already crisping up. So these are already looking really, really nice. Now you want to put the lid on to prevent splattering, and by all means, keep small children away from these things. They have breakaway cords, which are nice, but the last thing you want is a child near one of these with 400-degree oil getting on them. So just use caution if you're going to be around kids cooking these. So, and we'll do the same thing with the regular wings, but I've already started that over here. I can move that to center a little bit. Again, we have the boneless over here, and these have already been cooking. You can see that nice, it's getting to a nice golden brown here, especially on the little nubs of the drumlets there. Okay? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that nice golden brown coloring. That shows that you've seared the wing enough, and then it's cooked properly, okay, but it's still going to be pretty juicy on the inside. Okay, now if you go online, you poke around, you ask people from Buffalo, you know, how do I know when the wings are done? Well, ideally, you want to get a meat thermometer, stick it into the center of the meat, and at 165 degrees internal temperature, they're going to be done. The wives' tale rule of thumb here is when they float, they're done cooking, and that's a pretty good rule of thumb to go by. However, if you like them a little bit crispier, like I do, and like you'll find in many of your restaurants, you want to leave them in maybe just a little bit longer. So we'll come back to this when they're done cooking, but these are almost done. And we'll come back to these in just a couple of minutes when they're done cooking. So.